So no, what is your biggest win? And I want you to not be humble. I want you to blow out, brag, like be a rapper.
Be a bit doing that.
Yeah, be a bit of a rapper. Be 25K.
It's 9 to live. It's 9 to live. It's 9 to live. It's 9 to live.
Hi guys, welcome to 9 to Life, your career and lifestyle podcast, where we interview the interesting people doing the things you'd like to do or the things you didn't even know you could. Today we are dipping and dabbing into the tech space with a software developer. But before we get to Neo, this is are you good, my brother?
My brother, I'm great. I feel like this episode was super necessary. It's a re-recording.
So it has to be necessary. We were doing it twice.
We felt like we had to come back and redo it properly because we didn't do justice to it. And like technology failed us. It's funny that you talk about tech. When tech failed us in this episode. So we absolutely had to redo it. And against you, Ned? Yeah.
And why are the people? Why are you? By the way, because you're saying it's me, like, yeah.
Who I know who's this important person?
Hey, I'm the hacker. I'm the guy that messes up at the banks. The 99 rand scam. That's me.
What's your name? Man?
So my name is Neo Matila, and I'm originally from
Why do you say it like that?
Like what? I'm saying good guys, like people must know
So much pride in their hoods.
You got to get fast too. You have
Because you realize what illegal plates have been a thing across the whole country. But they decided just to Like,
guys, we take pride in everything we do.
what they say?
That's what we do.
Oh, Damani, what they say, or raw for, everyone knows he's a raw for. Anyways, Neo, could you tell us a bit about yourself, but preferably in English? Crispy door.
One hair, Tacho, one hair. But okay, so yeah, I've born and raised in Pretoria. Akiti Mahayeng, guys. His home. Parents, grandparents, great-grandparents from Pretoria.
I understand now why you said it like that. Yeah, no. Because it's home, like it's...
Yes. I have a degree, an honors degree in software engineering. I've been in the industry for over 8 years.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been around, and yeah, I'm not a hacker, guys. I'm not a hacker. I'm in.
Is that a common misconception? Like, do you usually get people saying, hack this for me, or hack my boyfriend?
I want to stalk my boyfriend.
Yeah,
I think the first question they ask you once they hear that you're a software engineer, they're like, can you hack? And you're like, no, guys. It's a skill I don't want to learn.
You don't? Because you don't trust yourself.
No, it's not even about trusting myself, but generally there's black hacking and white hacking. So the white hacking it's just a difference in the kind of hacking you're allowed to do. So you can like, in order for companies to test their security, they need people to try and hack them. So it's in-house people that try to hack them to see how you can actually access their softwares, their applications. And then there's the ones that do it illegally.
Oh, okay.
Wait, so which one is the illegal one?
It's obvious.
Black.
It's obvious. I can check that when it's obvious. Like, why couldn't it be read?
I could be wrong.
Because now all of a sudden black is wrong. No, it's wrong. Then we need to fix it. From now on, it's red hacking.
But you realize this country loves crime. Because when we have a software developer, the first question that they ask is, can you hack? If you've got a doctor, it's, can you help us with signals?
It's always...
If you're a policeman, can you get me off? Or, tickets, bails, and stuff like that. I don't know what that says
I
about
don't know why we say we are fighting crime when we love it this much as a country.
We are committing it collectively.
No, we really
Yes,
love it.
we do. Like even when they find out where you work, they'll try to exploit you and be like, can you do this? Can you do that? Based on where you work.
Sure. People call you and say, can you check certain things for us because
Good retain. Joe, can't you buy this for me? Got stuff price.
And also, guys, like there's always number. But it is, which hood are you from? Victoria. Also,
Guys, yes, you must be proud of where you are, where you come from. You
and
know,
then growing up in Harangwa, did you encounter a lot of software developers?
not really. So I went to school in Tabatwani. That's the military area.
do you have network?
Every time I post it, I'm just like,
I think back then it was like network wasn't really an issue. Like,
Oh, you guys were hacking. They were like,
this is how we. They were hacking from that.
no man, I mean it was an age of like you doing the please call me. Like Bluetooth was seriously working then. So network wasn't.
How old are you?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm
that's
old
fine.
enough. So yeah, so all that I've learned with regards to computers was through high school.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you were studying, well, if you had IT as a subject.
yes. So interesting story actually. How I actually got into IT was grade 9. We're choosing subjects, whatever. Here's this subject called IT. Look, I want to find out what this is. So I actually chose.
you wanted to be the it girl.
Yes.
This one. I can actually compute.
It's too late now.
It's guys. Like, so I chose it without knowing what it is. I chose it. Yes. I didn't even do it.
That's why I'm asking how old are you? Because you didn't do this. That's right.
And then my teacher then, Mr. Warrior, né?
Shout out to Mr. Warrior.
Shout out to him. Hey, he was really passionate.
Still alive.
I believe so. He was really passionate about the subject. Like, and then yeah. So he's also the one that introduced me to the varsity I went to.
Okay.
And then yeah, so he really spoke highly of it. And then did IT grade 10, grade 11, beginning of grade 12. He left the school. And
So his job was just to usher you.
yeah, yes.
So what's this varsity that Mr. Hoyer pushed you into?
So it's called Belgium Campus IT Versity. It's one of those where people are are you sure it's not a fly-by?
It does sound like a fly-by-night.
But it's not. It's a proper, it's accredited. It's still there. It's flourishing. It even has out. It has another branch in Kempton Park. No.
Oh no, it's the same thing. Captain Parker, partner.
No, wow.
I know it's like my dad.
Wow.
No, but no. Kempton Park has a lot of fly-by-night, so it didn't pick a good place.
Well, the first one is in Pretoria North.
Guys, they really did try. So they call it what?
North.
Belgium Campus.
Tabatwane was what?
Tabatwane? What do you mean was what?
Was the Belgium campus?
No, the high school I went to was in Tabatwane. But the varsity was in Pretoria North.
Okay, so they call it Belgium.
Campus. Literally, yeah, just yeah.
Alright, guys.
So instead of university,
Kuluman lab. I want to check this out.
University.
Are you Googling?
Wow, so you don't trust me. So you thinking I'm sitting here with Dutch credentials.
Who don't exist? Okay, but
Is that what it's called? IT Versity?
this. So tell us, like,
It is. But it's essentially an IT school basically. They specialize in everything IT. They doing like your robotics, your AI.
Robotics? Was robotics there when you were there? Or
So it was being phased in when I was leaving. So it's one of those things where they're keeping up with everything new in the technology world. So it's that's one thing I loved about them, is that their course changes based on what's relevant, what technology is being used currently. So if you find that whatever I did then it's outdated. They don't even teach it. Yeah.
And how do you keep yourself updated with trends? Because you're in this fast-moving thing.
So short courses, online courses are the best thing you can do. There's a platform called Udemy. I think a lot of people know about it.
I'm very registered there.
How often do you use it?
Yeah, that's another question.
Like I've got three certificates for Udemy. There's just this first that I'm struggling to finish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's a very, very good platform to do online courses, short courses.
How's the accreditation though? Does it help you on your CV if you put a Udemy course?
I think there should be ones that are accredited, and then others are just for you and your personal improvement. Yeah, yeah.
And how do you tell them apart?
Smash.
How do you tell them apart?
I think it should say that this is like an accredited course, and you can mention it and be like, I have a certificate in so and so, ABC, for instance.
You know, I don't check that when I pick courses. I just look at which one is presented by a black person.
Oh, my brother.
And then I pick that one because I just want to support the brothers.
Support black business.
Like I just want to support.
Fair enough. Yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, so the short courses are the way to go. And what I love about it is that they even have like intros, like you can do them from as a beginner, intermediate, senior, master, you know? So whatever you want to do, Udemy is the place.
And then coming from this relatively unknown varsity, was it a challenge at work? Like when you're going into the space?
Guys. So I need to explain how this varsity is. It's still very high school like, but they're preparing you for the work environment. I used to wear uniform, guys. Oh,
With your uniform?
uniform to varsity, guys. Top hats, we had shirts, jerseys, a blazer, tie.
A blazer?
And then, but used to wear like jeans and whatever. But you know what? Financially, it makes sense.
You don't have to buy clothes.
Yeah, we don't have to buy clothes. No, so it makes sense. So the way that they do their courses is that at any given moment, you're actually doing one module.
Okay.
So one module, you are attending a class for like 4 hours. That's long, I know. So each day it's either 8 to 12 or 1 to 5, you're attending that class and you're busy with that module. And then you write tests every Friday, and then it's exams like normal. But they teach you in a way where it's very similar to what you experience in the workplace. Yeah, so for myself, the transition from varsity to the working environment was so seamless that I actually didn't even feel it.
You didn't feel like you were working?
Yeah, like I was like, okay, this is how we were taught in varsity. So, okay, this is what we do, whatnot. Because they're very practical. Yes, there's theory, but they're mostly focused on the practical part of everything.
Interesting. And that model that you guys are taught with, it's what a lot of business schools follow, where if we're doing HR, we do HR until we finish, and then we do operations management or whatever. How does that, because you know some subjects have like prerequisite knowledge that you need to bring in. Does it not get old, or sometimes you need to be doing some things concurrently so that it sort of you are able to synthesize it and bring it together and apply it as a holistic theory? How do they cover that?
So whatever you did, like for instance, first year, whatever you did was like for first year. And then if you needed a prerequisite module for like maybe the second semester, you do it first semester.
Ish.
So they'll block you if you don't pass that.
Yes.
That right.
So Tatola, like failing one subject adds like an entire year, even though it's a semester.
It would depend on the subject. So you could carry over some subjects, and then you can, because you're carrying over, you obviously had to do double time concurrent, only because you're carrying over. But if you pass, there's no double modules or anything like that.
And then were you doing a lot of carrying over? Like how hard was it?
I only carried over just one, and it was a theory module. I hated it. As me and theory are not friends. That's why the school was so perfect for me, because I learn better when somebody's explaining, because I can absorb it, I can hear it, and then you ask questions, and then it was easier for me. So learning on my own, reading it, that wasn't for me.
That's interesting. And tell me, how much does your personality type play into the career that you end up, or your career specifically? Because you spoke about how you are a person that likes practical things, want to see things. If someone is like a bookworm,
That would be perfect for it.
perfect.
Yes, software engineering is for nerds. Like, you need to, simply put, because you need to. It also wants you to read a lot. Like, you need to be a very logical person. You need to be able to, whatever you're being told, put it into logic so that you can code it, and then it outputs a program that people can use. You need to be a nerd, like, basically, for software engineering. But a lot of people get shocked when they see me and I'm like, I'm a dev. And they're like, really? You're not a typical dev, because dev...
What's a dev?
Software developer, sorry. Software engineering, software developer, software programmer.
What's the difference between the three?
They're legit, the same. They're just, used interchangeably. Yeah.
Okay. Developer, engineer,
Yeah.
Programmer.
program.
Yes.
Okay.
They're all, but
I should have do different things.
no, software developer, software programmer, software engineer. Those three words are almost the same thing.
Also, it sort of depends on what you feel like or what your company wants to call that
Yes.
position.
But the working one that is mostly used is software development. Yeah. So
Oh, sorry. So what languages do you code in?
I'm mostly focused on Java.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a difference between Java and JavaScript?
Yes. So JavaScript is essentially just for front end, your web pages, the functions that it does, the styling and all of that. And then Java is used for back-end systems. That's what the button that you click on a website will plug into to actually do whatever it needs to do.
Do you remember Nokia? No. Nokia, I think the operating system was Symbian.
Symbian, yes.
And whenever you plug into a game, it would have a Java thing first. Is that the same Java? Yes.
Yeah, so that's the language, yeah.
But it's funny because there's games, so you think it's like UI, but when you're saying Java is mostly for back-end stuff.
Yeah, but it's just telling you that it's powered by Java.
Oh, the back-end is powered by Java.
So you can still do like the front end within Java, but it's not that it's not the best. There's other softwares that deal specifically with just front end. Yeah. So it will depend, because you have different languages like C++, C#, your Python. Angular is a popular one that's being used for front end now.
Yeah. Okay. So how about you're a full stack developer? They mean you are doing both front and back end.
Yes.
So now you're not a full stack.
No, I'm a back end. I love back end. Front end, guys.
With coming from such a small varsity, like how many were you in your class?
About, I don't think we're more than 20.
And then how many are you in your team at work now?
And my team at work now, this is the biggest team I've been part of. So I think it's about 22, 25 people, if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
Okay, so it's not that much of a difference in transition, because I was worried, like, when there are colleagues of yours that are from UJ or VERDS or any other, or TUT or any other place where they actually have big classes, do you feel that you are disadvantaged in any ways when it comes to collaboration, or even picking outfits because you are wearing uniform like for a long time?
Not really. Sorry. Not really, because when you enter the working environment, it's not like you're going to come into a team of just graduates. You're going to come into a team of like seniors, intermediates, and juniors. You find that sometimes you're the only graduate. So and the senior guys are very helpful. They'll try to ease you into the work environment, show you how things work. So it's actually not much of a difference.
Okay. Do you say senior guys, just guys as a word that covers people, or is the software space still dominated by men?
So I use guys unisex.
So you
Yeah. But it is still very, very men dominated. There's not a lot of female devs. They don't last also. It's another thing where you'll start out, you'll be in the space for like 5 years, and then they'll branch out into business analysis, system analysis, they'll do program management, project owner.
What is pushing women out of software dev?
I think because it's also a lot of, like it's so male dominated that sometimes it gets very intense and very hectic, because you guys operate in a very funny way. Like if they commit into like, I'm working, they don't have boundaries. Like they'll work anytime, any day of the work, and then they'll give above and beyond. As a female, like if you have like a family, it's very hard to deal with those conditions, because now you can only give like 9 to 5, and you have people.
You are giving 9 to 9.
Yes, and you have people giving 9 to 9, basically.
Sure.
So yeah, so they try to go into the less less consuming roles, if I can.
Things that you don't have to take home,
Yeah.
essentially.
You don't sleep when the code is not doing the things, eh?
Yeah.
As a dev, you'll be dreaming about code.
So this is funny. I'm not gonna disclose which company you work for, but you work for a company that is very popular, especially with the apps that are used. Do you sometimes take it personally when people on social media are criticizing something that you have worked on? Like, XYZ is so frustrating to work with, and you're like, but it's mine.
It depends, because sometimes you might find that I share the very same frustration. So
Sure, frustration with what you created.
yeah, because sometimes, yeah, but requirements are requirements. Sometimes you can't question them. Like if business people come to you and say, we want this, and then you can push back how like whichever way you can. But if they say we want this, you have to give them what they want, even if you don't agree with it. So, but it depends. But sometimes I'll be like, this is more a user problem than yeah.
So to the guys who did informatics, for example, because they are sort of the bridge, are they the ones who tell you what to make, or these are the features that we want to have?
No. Like, so your people that will bring requirements are usually like the business people, our CEO, the CIOs, because they're the ones. Yeah, they're the ones that'll be like, we want to achieve 1, 2, 3. We want to add this new thing, and then it filters down to like your project owners, your project managers, your business analysts, and then they'll create a spec, a requirement, and then it comes to us. So it's a whole process. Essentially, whatever you see is from business people. We don't have control of. Yeah, we have control of how we do it, but we don't have control of what.
And tell me, the way you guys work, nah? How do they allocate work? Do you develop a certain step in the process, or how do they? You said you have a team of 20 people.
Yeah.
So who does what?
So it depends. It depends on how big the change is. So you generally have like a small, medium, large, and it depends if it's like a full-scale project or if it's just a small. This button is no longer working, so let's go fix it. So if it's a full-scale project, so it needs collaboration from everyone. So you'll just work on a certain portion. Let's say there's 5 steps throughout that whole project. So one dev will work on one step, depending on how big it is and how technical it is. So one dev will work on 1, 2, 3, or like if the time frames allow, you'll probably just work. This month you're working on step 1, the following month you're working on step 2. So it just essentially depends.
It depends on the project. There's no one way of doing it. Okay, interesting. And then how does the career ladder Look.
Of course she does. She's enjoying us, man. Never preacher.
How does the career ladder look in software development? You come in as what? You get promoted to what? Etc. Until all the way up to who's the highest person? The CTO.
CIO.
CIO.
Yes.
Or chief information
Office.
Yeah. Sometimes it's tech. It's like software developer, software engineer.
Yeah, it's just vibes.
It's not just vibes. So essentially, you'll come in as it depends on the company. So you generally start off as a grad because it's very hard to let go of that grad title.
So there's like a graduate program specifically for software development.
I think it's a lot of companies have like graduate programs depending on whatever grad they want. And then that's like the intro to the work life. And then you'll become like a junior dev, intermediate, senior. And then sometimes you'll be like maybe a technical team lead, and then a team lead, and then a manager. But it's not just one way up. Some people maybe go from senior dev to team lead or manager. And then some people maybe will branch out to being architects. And then...
Wait, Kida, can you just explain that, the architect?
So an architect, so a solutions architect is a person that will come up with business will bring the requirement, and then the solutions architect will be like, okay, this is how I think we should do it.
Like a business analyst.
Sort of, but on the architecture side. And then an architect. So a solutions architect will literally, most of the time, will just look at that requirement, and then maybe the others that affect that requirement. And then an architect usually looks at the whole application as a whole, the entire thing, how it will affect, or how can we improve the processes, how can we make it more efficient, how can we make it better. Yeah, and then from there, it's like your normal managerial, you go become a senior manager, and then your CIOs, depending on how far you want to go. You could even become CEO.
Can you?
Yes.
Okay.
But I think
of a tech company.
it could be a tech company.
Not business.
It depends, because for instance, if let's say I become a manager and then I decide to do an MBA, and because I have the experience to back me up into the MBA, and then I get my MBA, and then I start growing the corporate ladder.
You said MBA like 6 times.
Yeah.
Are you aware?
My bad.
Something that you want to do.
Yeah, it sounds like it's...
Like it's high school.
Okay. So you're done. Nerd. Are you done with school?
Formal learning, like your master's, the doctorate.
Yeah.
No, I'm done. The way I used to be so anxious, guys. No, but I'm not done with in terms of like upskilling myself, short courses, online courses. I'm not done there. But that strict, you're doing this for a year or two. I don't think I'm gonna do it anytime soon. Yeah.
Sure. That's fair. It sounds like your corporate ladder is quite wrong. Like it's 3 steps before you get to even supervisory.
It depends, but obviously, in a lot of places, you start off as a junior. So you need to work your way up, guys. You can't just go from junior to team lead.
And what does that look like in your profession? What am I doing? What am I displaying to my people that are looking at me to show I'm ready for the next level?
So obviously, it comes back to your people skills, your leadership.
You need people skills from the beginning.
But how are you gonna be a leader if you don't have? No, I'm asking. You need people skills in general, in everything you do.
Okay.
In everything you do, whichever work that you do, you need people skills, because you don't work alone. You work with other people. How you interact with your teammates, how you interact with your managers, how you interact with customers if you have customers. So people skills are necessary for everyone.
And then in your 8 years,
Wait, I don't think she was done answering the question.
she was not what?
This one, cutting people in.
Were you done now?
No, remember the question was, how are you displaying your competence throughout the levels? And then she was on point number 1, which was people skills.
Okay.
And then what else?
Interrupted him.
Yeah. What else other than people skills? Yeah.
Your leadership.
leadership skills? You need those from one.
No, obviously not from step one, but the higher you go, like you.
The more important they become.
Yes, so you're a senior now. As a senior, are you showing leadership? Are you actually helping out the guys below you, the junior days? Are you picking up the slack? Like are you?
You're expected to pick up the slack.
I mean, as a senior person, you can't just be going about things like a junior. There's
As in, you don't just do the bare minimum and go home.
even if, like, most probably your bare minimum includes leadership as well.
No, we're talking about slack now again.
Yeah, as a
In terms of slack and is doing other people what other people could not have done in the time that they were supposed to do it.
Yeah, so and if you're slacking, yeah, you just, I'm a dev, you code, life goes on, you don't help anyone, you don't contribute to
Yeah.
Yeah, bare minimum. But now you wanna shine. You wanna be like, hey guys, see me. Like, you know, you solve issues very quickly. You come up with better ways of doing things. It's a case of thinking outside the box. You're no longer boxing yourself into, I'm a senior dev. You're looking at how can I improve the workspace that I'm in? How can I become a better team player? You know?
And you're doing that in such a way that your principals are aware. Because if you do it in a corner somewhere,
No one will.
no, can you still succeed? You can't succeed like that.
Yeah, obviously people need to notice, people need to see you. Like, also we need to, like, people from other teams need to also recognize you and be like, this, if I haven't.
For making your team look good.
Yes, Neo is a good person to go to. Neo solves my issues very quickly. So now you're shining outside of your team. And they're like, ooh, who's that go-to person? Okay.
You know, there's something I read. It was just a short Siliana quote. But people, like hard workers and efficient workers, are often punished with more work.
Yes.
I was a... You stole your thing. You stole my thing. Now we are square. Thank you. Because that was going to be my question. The problem is that if you deliver, now everyone is coming to Neo now. Neo,
And the underachievers get to see.
the slackers continue to slack.
I'm going to say this now.
That's a great question. And
The wrong way. And
that's a great question.
yeah, it was
We're killing the
close to you. So I'm going to say this, Nen, but I feel like people are going to misinterpret it, but that's fine. I'll explain. So I believe in being average. But in being average, I don't say you must not do what you need to do. You must slack. Like, you can do your job, but know when to shine, even when you're just doing your bare minimum. I mean, you know your strong points. You know that one thing I excel very much in doing, even though I'm not going above and beyond in doing my job. So what you do, you highlight those aspects of your job, of what you do. You highlight them, you make them shine, so that people think, star girl, she's amazing. You know?
And then?
But you're still being average. You're not doing hectic loads of work.
But no, that's fantastic advice. That's great advice. But why are you choosing to package it that way? Because what you are saying, essentially, the essential message there is identify what you are great at and focus on that. But why does that have to do with being average?
Because, well, you know, when you want to be extraordinary, you want to go above and beyond. You want to do outside of your scope of work. You end up even doing other people's work. Because actually you are the overachiever. You're a superstar.
Yeah.
So, but what then happens? You end up getting like more work. You end up getting Lesego's work because I get Lesego can't do his work. Neo can do Lesego's work.
No, but then isn't that now a problem of, and I guess as you grow and you develop as a person, you need to get at setting boundaries as well, to say, listen, this is my work, I'm going to do this. And you make that clear, right? So I'm struggling with the average thing. Your advice is fantastic.
It sounds more like efficiency.
Yeah.
It sounds more like efficiency than being average.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
You're packaging it funny.
No, I'm not packaging it funny because, I mean, what's being average?
Being average is not standing out. It's being amongst, like, there are people that are the same. The amount of people that are better than you are the same as the amount of people that are worse than you. So you're right in the middle.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, exactly.
And the bad ones are very noticeable. The good ones are very noticeable. When
No one knows about you.
Yeah.
the middle child.
Yeah, you're exactly. Yeah, you like brilliant.
Child shines from time to time, right? But yes, you're average, but you're doing just enough so that you sometimes get the recognition.
Okay.
The middle child thing is funny. I thought the first one is made out of love.
Yeah.
And the last one is made after they have forgiven affairs. Like they just say, let's build a relationship. Let's make
And
it
actually, it
strong.
depends. I don't believe that the firstborn is always made out of
Are you a firstborn?
no.
Not like now we're moving back to like going.
Lastborn.
Oh, last one.
Mm.
Oh,
But it depends, guys. Sometimes the firstborn, due to circumstances, guys.
No, but the love was at its peak.
yeah, the love was there.
Nandi, whatever circumstances took place. That's when it was nice. That's when we were having a great time in the morning. Before problems.
Yes, sometimes you didn't know what you were doing.
Yes, but
Go duty, go sunshine. You didn't know. It wasn't great.
it looked like it was great and they enjoyed.
I also find that there's lastborns are also Banabanu.
Uncle man, going back home, as the last born, do you guys escape black tax?
No.
So it's still there.
It depends. Generally, like all family situations are different.
Yeah.
So I feel like black tax has divisions, if I can call it
And
that.
it's,
There's that black tax that we like calling it black tax, but it's generally just giving back and doing things for your parent because you're just grateful and I'm just appreciating umzali. And then there's that black tax where the situation at home is not great.
yeah.
I'm trying to uplift them so that we all get to where we are. And then there's that black text where you're just being abused financially. Where, yeah.
When you can't say no, where you can't throw up those.
Where they want your whole salary. Yeah, they want, like, there's no boundaries. Like, they're never satisfied with whatever you do. They just see you as an ATM. That's the worst kind.
Yes. For now.
Wow.
So we're not more guy or no more. Which division? Are you Premier League? UEFA?
Because we can tell them. You can tell them now.
Guys, why do I need to explain?
That's fine.
I'm somewhere. I'm in between.
You are there?
Somewhere in the... Yeah. I'm a grateful child.
We're a grateful child.
No, that's fantastic.
So tell me, grateful child, when you talk about being average, how are your confidence levels at work? And have you ever had imposter syndrome?
Okay. Guys, imposter syndrome is real. I recently moved into a new job and my goodness, I felt like I was...
New job as in promotion.
Yeah, promotion. And I just felt like, guys, this is me. Like, can I do this job? Because I felt like maybe, they didn't see right. Like, I'm not the person here. But I think being affirmed goes a very long way. Like, when bad people you work with, when you get feedback, from colleagues, from your manager. So, like, I like actually getting feedback. I'll ask, where can I improve? What am I doing well and whatnot? So I got the feedback that, no, you're on the right track. Yes, there's room for improvement. But
I liked it. So first thought of the day, feedback is the antidote to imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
yes. Because then it will tell you are you really being an imposter?
Because we are very hard on ourselves.
Yes.
You might think that you're failing or you're not good enough because of the pressure that we're putting on ourselves. And you find that thing that you are very unsure of, people are very happy with your work. Yeah.
I got about faster.
Yeah, that one actually hit home because I'd set very high targets for myself at work. And when I found out like my real target, I laughed. And, you know,
Superstar.
and it actually hit me. Because I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to actually hit this. Then when they said
Hit the targets that you set for yourself.
yeah,
Okay.
I was like, yo, this is because I thought it wasn't targets that I set for myself based on what I think I can do, but based on what I think is expected of me
Okay.
before that feedback. You know, so guys, give us feedback, please.
Communication.
Like, talk to us. Talk to us.
Yeah.
Because now we are stressed.
Actually, like my new manager, he's such an amazing guy. Where
Shout out, new manager.
shout out to him. Like, so he's managing style. He's like, he'll set up random sessions every month just to catch up with you, to find out where you're at, to like just to check in, to make sure that you're still okay. Are we stressing you? Do you want to leave?
Everything has to say.
So I appreciate that a lot. No.
Okay. So note to managers. And check in with how people are.
You can also initiate it from your end.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to come from the manager. You can also initiate.
Okay.
I like that. And how do you ensure that the feedback that you're getting is accurate?
So more than one source would be great, but it also goes with the kind of relationship you'd have with the people you're asking. If you guys have an honest enough relationship, you'll believe what they're giving. But if you know who's sketch, like you'll just take what you feel might be useful from the whole interaction.
Which might be problematic.
It depends. If you're actually looking at areas for growth, you'll take the criticism and try to make use of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's about setting up from the very, because now, for instance, you are new in your role, and I imagine this manager was not a manager before.
Yeah, it's also his first time as a manager.
Oh, nice. Nice. So how was the approach? Did you guys have a sit down from the onset to say, listen, this is what I expect from you, this is what I will give to you?
I think also gelling from the get-go worked, because now
So
the chemistry was there, the conversations were flowing, and we just got along from the get-go. And then even when he talks to you, it's like in a playful manner. And then sometimes you don't know if he's serious or not.
No, this is a great manager.
Yes, it is. It's a great manager because he made it.
Maybe we must have him on the podcast.
Can we bring him? Please.
And
You can share some tips. No, the world needs to know how you, because a lot of people complain about their manager.
Yeah.
So the world needs to know that there actually are some great managers out there, and this is how you.
It's not my first great manager.
Oh, sorry.
Or you want to give us the older one, because this one you're with.
But guys, it's in the same space. So you need to interview other people.
No, don't worry about that.
When you have a section of how to be a great manager, give me a call. Maybe I'll be a manager by then.
Yo, when I
Whatever is average.
Guys, Nev. I don't want to say this, Nev. But how many people have you ever come across where they're in very high positions, and when you actually look deep, these people are not doing anything?
I can't say that I've come across a lot of people like that.
Yeah, I think
I can't say that.
to get in those roles, there are people who are pulling you up, and they are looking down at this crowd. So they pull up like the people who stand out.
Again, I think sometimes where is it a bit, or where sometimes it seems like that, is where someone was recognized for their managerial and leadership skills, but they're not strongest technical, right? But they're in a manager role, which maybe technical is only 30%. So when I as the junior, you're like, this man doesn't even know how to code basic Java, as an example. Or this man can't even balance journals.
But he can manage people like
Aye.
Bezos Chloe talking about this manager. Because I don't think that you can get up climb up that ladder by just being the best coder in the team.
I hear you. So, okay, my great managers were very technical people as well. I think that's what also contributed. They were very technical people. But how many stories have you read where Neo knows the job, knows everything. Bonisile comes into the job. I teach him the ropes and everything. I've got the leadership skills as well. And then Bonisile is promoted to be my manager.
Yeah, that's sad. I think that's more nepotism, corruption, favoritism. Those are problems that need to be dealt with.
You come across that from time to time. So I'm saying sometimes the average people also get to
Redemption.
the higher level.
So what I wanted us to discuss, to talk about now.
Can I clarify just one thing then? Sure. I don't think it'll be that alone.
What do you mean?
It won't be just you being the best coder in the team alone.
Yeah, to have that. As well as, but speaking on that, there's a company, I won't mention name. They have, no, it's not a bad thing. They have two streams of development or of career progression. Okay. There's one that's called the individual contributor career stream, where you become the best technical person you can be. And because the problem is most people hit a ceiling when it comes to technical ability, and now they need to jump over to management, but they don't really like management, right? They're like, I want to be a specialist in my corner. The problem with that is that it doesn't give you a lot of career options. Like you'll be limited to like a tech. I'm trying to bring it to your field. Maybe you'll be like a senior developer for the rest of your life. Do you understand? And people are like, no, but that's not fair. I'm trying to develop as well, right? So this company they have that stream where you can grow in that stream up to a certain level that's equivalent to someone that's like a senior director, manager or something like that, but as an individual contributor. And if you want to be a manager and develop those people skills, those leadership skills that you said are essential in the beginning, if you want to develop those, you can go that route. You're not forced to. You see?
Sounds great.
Where would you go?
Oh, guys. So currently where I'm at, I'm actually very happy as a dev. I don't think I'm ready yet to go the managerial route. Because guys, it also comes with a lot of politics.
It does. So I'm asking you, I understand what you're saying, but I'm asking you to think 5 years in the future, 10 years in the future, whenever you are ready, which role would you want to pick?
Hence I'm saying it's very hard to answer that because like being a developer is also quite rewarding, eh? And then now you have to ask yourself, do you want to add the people aspect to it? Because that's mostly what will come if you go the managerial route as people. It's making the decisions. It's bringing in the requirements, thinking outside the box, like growing the business. Because now you have to be like, okay, we as a bank, we are here, but we want to grow and become the best bank in South Africa. What do we need to do? What new products do we need to introduce to the market? And then now there's a whole lot of pressure because now you need to be an innovator. It's no longer just the people management. You also need to be an innovator. Also need
a director, strategist. Yes.
And you're happy in your career.
I'm not sure that's what you want.
Just tell me what I need to do.
Okay, it sounds to me like you'd be happy with the individual contributor for now.
For now. I can't speak on 5 years from now. I honestly can't. Because life happens also. You never know what the future might hold. You might find that in 5 years from now, my situation changes and that I don't have the time to be fully committed to being a dev. That's when you start now looking at the other roles that are less technical and more business focused.
Yeah. Beautiful. And then looking at your stance of being average, meaning that you're never piled on with work. How is your work-life balance? It should be doing well, I'm guessing.
It is the weirdest thing. I can't work on weekends. My mind switches off.
Okay.
It's so weird. It's not nice because now in my new role I need to work. So it's something that I'm working on. But I know when to switch off. Like there are times where I'm like, okay, yeah, it's family time.
Yeah.
It's social life time and all of that. Because also being an overachiever means you end up using your spare time to try and grow and do special things and all of that. So you never really have a balance.
And I think this is beautiful, having you here for a number of reasons. A lot of people are not exposed to their... You did what?
Sorry, continue.
A lot of people see software... What are you guys laughing at? I'm curious.
No, it missed you. A lot of people...
A lot of people do software, yes.
And a lot of people who do software development, right? Or a lot of people who want to go into it have got a stereotypical view. And you are I would say you are the opposite of that,
Yeah.
of what we see in the media space. You know, you are black.
Yeah.
You are a woman,
Male.
you know.
Sunshine and roses.
Have you gotten into any initiatives of mentoring people?
I haven't, and that's something that I wish I could do. I think I need to actually invest my time in doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's something that I'm challenging myself in doing, because I believe strongly in giving back in like, what's that word where if somebody did something for you, I'm paying it forward.
Yeah.
So, sorry, I believe so much in paying it forward. And I feel like I actually haven't contributed much in that regard. So it's something that I'll definitely be looking into doing in the future.
But you know, if you watch our episode, episode 0, we actually touched on this. Hore, platforms like this also allow you to speak to 200, 500 black girls who might want to go into that space, you know, and it's also something that you do when you're ready, because it is demanding.
Yeah, it is.
But now, who was your mentor going into the space that you're in now? Were you able to find one, or is it just...
I think there weren't mentors per se, but it's just people that would advise me on what to do, where to go. You understand? So, no mentor. Because you know, sometimes, like with mentorship, like sometimes you have to like be strict. Like a lot of people are very strict on how they do it. You have to meet regularly. You have to show me your progress. Like we're not doing this for vibes.
Yes.
It's a very formal. So I had very informal mentors in that they'll be like, oh, how about you do 1, 2, 3? This would work great for you. And then it's up to me if I take up that advice or not. It wasn't like grilled and be like, you have to do it. So it was very informal.
I think that still qualifies as mentorship, because mentorship looks different, first of all, in different phases of your life. And you can choose to have mentors for different things. You can choose to have role models that sort of mentor you from a distance indirectly. You look at their moves and you're like, I want to move like that. And then you look at some of their moves and you emulate some of those moves. So I think, I don't know why you are averse to calling it mentorship.
No, I'm not, because once you go to a person and be like, can you please be my mentor? Or they're like, I don't have time. This and that. Because people don't want, like once you attach the mentor tag to it, it feels like a contract now. Like you have to uphold your end, So people generally don't want that. So it's never been can you please be my mentor? It's hey, I need advice on 1, 2, 3, and then they give you advice, and then life goes on, and then you come back a few months later. So here's a little bit of an update. Can you please advise me on so and so? And then that's how generally I'll do my.
So it seems like a big qualifying criteria for you calling someone a mentor is accountability. And
the people that are asked were not ready to commit themselves like that.
because it's taxing.
I think by design, because I think sometimes we let ourselves off the hook too easily. You know, you need someone that's gonna say, no, that's nonsense. You need and someone that you respect. Because if it's just Bonizi, they're gonna come and say, you're doing nonsense. I'm gonna say,
I think that you don't respect me.
man, I didn't see it. Man. So now we can't make examples on the podcast. So now examples are a problem on the podcast.
You know, we're doing this thing together.
You see, so no, I like this mentorship talk, because it just shows how much people are struggling with it, defining it, how to approach it, how to go about it. And I think the more we talk about it, the more someone is going to build their own mental model of what mentorship must look like to them, right? Because another guest is going to come and say, no, we must have a contract, and we must write down my duties, your duties, what we're getting from it, whatever.
PDP.
And
Then you must stick to it. And then you must...
You see, and then someone's going to say, that's not going to work for me. That's not the type of person that I am. And then someone's going to say, no, let's think that Noah's thinking about, I actually like it. I think, that could work for me. So yeah, no, I like.
But the one thing that, as you said, you must respect the person. You must also, yes, you must not want to disappoint yourself, but you must also not want to disappoint that person. That will, put you in your But just to add on to what you said about this is a platform that reaches out to the masses. So I'm willing for people to contact me for any advice. Yeah.
So I think what you didn't know is that by signing up to be on this podcast, you're already willing, like it or not. We were gonna give people your contact details, like it or not. So it's good that you mentioned it.
But yeah, so if people interested,
No, I think you need to go watch our first episode, and then
guys, why are you putting me up?
I think you guys need to go check out our first episode. You and Neo.
Come on, I'm gonna watch it.
No, but the point is, we sort of one of the ways we envisioned this podcast was to have like a mentorship network that connects people to superstars like
and those dancing today. And nobody all this morning. Yes.
Having a fantastic time today. So yes, people will be reaching out to you. Pretty soon. Don't act like you forgot.
Yeah. So where will they be reaching out?
Don't know why. That's for us to continue with as well.
Yeah, we'll work that out because we want to link young people with people like you. I mean, you've been doing this for 8 years, so you can help them out with high school.
And I'm 25.
Enough. I know. We don't lie here.
I'm not lying. That thing will work while you're still studying.
So it's high school. You can guide them through career. Varsity. You can guide them through their first interview. So you have all that experience, climbing the ladder, moving to new teams. So you're a vessel, and we do want to give you guys out because we're very picky with who we interview here.
Is it?
But not just anyone.
Yeah.
It's not just anyone.
Oh, now I feel special.
It's just
So I think as we are closing out, we had a great chat, but there's these 3 questions that we cannot skip these ones because we feel like they are so valuable.
I'm so scared, but I'm listening.
Wait, can I have mine? I invite you have yours.
Yeah.
I have the good news, you have the bad news.
My man, don't put it like that. Now you're putting it in a weird way. But you always have yours. So go ahead, no brother, start.
So now, what is your biggest win? And I want you to not be humble. I want you to blow out, brag, like be a rapper.
Be a Bidori rapper.
Yeah, be a rapper. Be 25K.
Guys, so okay, let me put it this way. I grew up, I'm not going to say I grew up poor, but I grew up broke. I was a broke person. So I've always dreamed of financial independence, And then you start working, and then reality kicks in, and then, Yeah, the rent is not what the rent is. And then you get yourself into like debts here and there, and then we're trying to, it gets real. It gets real.
Then you crash your car. Guys, no one's always crashing your car.
This guy's now.
Now you're exposing.
No, but then what shall you say? It was go on.
Well, I'm supporting his business. I don't know what his problem is. Like, he's chasing customers.
I know it's fine.
Yeah. So, and then my biggest wish was to be financially independent and to travel.
Oh, okay.
To travel. So, and not to travel on scholarship,
Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy.
but to travel to be like, guys, I want to go to Cape Town. Okay, book flight, book accommodation. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. Like the next coming few months, I'm living my sort of like my wildest dream where I'm actually going to be in the 3 months visiting 3 continents.
Oh,
So I'm like,
yes.
that I'm very proud.
Definitely not average.
Yeah, nothing average about that. Please.
It's how it's going. So live below your means. They're not lying when they're saying live below your. They're not lying. And hey, the basis points
Yeah.
when they come in, you're like, okay, I still have a little bit of. I'm not happy, but I still have a little bit of. But if you're living above your means,
Hey.
Okay, now for the bad news.
I think we are done with the podcast. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed,
You know what?
please subscribe.
What's a nice thing we should do in editing? Like when we have this part of the bad news, we are black and white. Like, come on.
Yeah.
So editor. Magume black and white.
Okay. So, now that you've spoken about your financial independence and you're in 3 continents in 3 months,
I don't have money to spend.
can you share some of that money? Now that you've spoken about your good news, think back to a time where things didn't really work out for you, where you hit rock bottom or things just went south for you, and you had a huge fail. What is that fail? And from that, what was the biggest lesson or takeaway?
Oh, guys, it has to do with finances, funny enough. So, this, yeah, it makes sense somehow. It all worked out, thankfully. So, as you know, I joined the work environment through a learnership. It wasn't a grad program. Through a learnership, so 1 year doing whatever studies, and you have to pay it back for like working for the company for a year. So in my 2nd year in the company, man, I'm not being utilized. Like I go to work to be a social butterfly. I'm like, this is not working for me. I'm too young for my work ethic to be zero, And then I decided to leave the company. And then they're like, you're leaving. Here's a bill. Please pay back that learnership. And you look at that amount and you're like, what? Okay, I don't have that kind of money.
Yes.
My parents don't have that kind of money. So I had to take out a loan. So now I take out a loan to pay that. Whatever little increase I got for the new company goes to the loan. And then, it was rough. The new company also wasn't so great. They don't know what to do with. So I'm now frustrated. I have debt. I'm like, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I was like, did I really make the right choice? I could have just stayed for 3 more months. And then,
So you only had 3 months of your payback period remaining.
yes. September, October. Yeah. I had 3 months left. But I left.
Jeez. And what's the lesson, kids?
Reach your contract.
Patience. Yes.
Reach your contract.
So, but I knew before leaving. But in hindsight, it actually worked out for the better. I went back to the safe company a year later.
The one that you had paid them.
Yes. I went back a
It
year.
was definitely an
It wasn't. It wasn't. Because I went back a year later.
Because it's two L's.
Yeah. Different role. Not different role, but like a no longer junior, higher role, different team. And then I'm now doing what I wanted to do.
Hey, you're not paid to it. Yeah, I know.
No, but I'm the one that left.
Okay.
It wasn't a them issue. It was a...
Oh, and it's not personal, like it's in their contract.
Yes, I knew. Hey, but that year was a lot.
Those are noodles.
My God. Paparazzi. I did that.
Okay, our last question. If you weren't doing software dev
Engineer.
/ programming / all the things, all of them, what would you be doing?
I'd be a medical doctor.
Medical.
I know.
Talk us through that one.
I'd be a medical doctor.
Why are you not a medical doctor right now?
My mom and my grandmother warned me, and they're like, do not get into that job. It's a slave job. Well, context, my grandmother was a surgical nurse, but not a surgical nurse, a theater nurse.
Okay.
And then my mom was a nurse. So they knew the hectic hours, they knew the intensity of the job, and they're like, if you was this, stay away. And then I stayed away.
You listen to your parents.
I didn't. IT chose me.
What did Mr. Mang, Mr. Oy?
Mr. Hoyer. Mr. Hoyer was like, this man.
What Hoya? And the Hoya is poor, right? In fact,
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, no, it's not poor.
oh, sorry, man. Thousand people. What is it?
Those close I
Is
have.
it all the time? Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it not to warn?
Lovely.
No, man. Oh, yeah, is it not to fear? Yes.
Is it fear? Are you googling it?
Even down, oh, yeah. Yes, it's fear. Yeah? Yes, it's fear.
Is it?
It's what? Oh, no, it's Udloy. Yeah, oh, yeah. And Madam always uses it. Because I Madam calls that.
Hey, shit's fine.
That's fine. Now you look like you can close the show now.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Let's leave it. No, thank you so much for joining us, giving us insights, giving us those quotables, you know. And I know that anyone who is interested in software development would be blessed to have you as a mentor. You're cool people.
Thank you.
So yeah, big ups. And on that note, if you've not subscribed already, please subscribe to the channel, and thank you for watching once again. Also, don't forget to leave it in the comments if there's a career that you're interested in that you'd like us to interview. We've got a network of people. We know some people.
You're ready to tap in. We're ready to tap in.
Yeah, we're ready to make that call, you know. Hey, do you know those calls? You have a few as well.
Like,
Do you know those calls where you need help from like someone, but you haven't spoken to them? Hey, that a long time. Hey, how are the kids? Hey, how are the wives? Yeah, man. Hey,
I need this on record.
no,
Marine biologist.
you want a marine biologist? Yeah.
Okay. Oh wait, you want them on the show, or you have a marine?
No, I want them on the show.
I have a marine
You
biologist.
haven't even.
I have a marine biologist.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
The network is operating, my brother.
Lock it in the comments. Thank you guys. No, thanks.
Cool.
Killing the game.
So,